I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Time for this door open. Microphone right here. Yeah. Put us up
Everybody gets a look at the back of my head for the next hour. You sitting over there, Kelly?
Yeah.
Okay.
For those of you in the audience here, we just started our budget meetings, and tonight was the first one. And as soon as we get done with this meeting, we'll continue into the budget so we can get what we anticipated tonight and get that done. Is there any public comment on agenda items? Yes, no? Previous minutes, I have minutes from August the 11th. I have a motion to accept the minutes as motion.
Second it.
All in favor?
Bye.
Okay, thank you. I have the minutes from September the 8th. I have a motion to accept the minutes as printed.
Motion?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Communications, I don't have any particular communications. Justin, where you at? You're right there, huh?
Sir.
Okay, so we're going to start off with a resolution to introduce the local law, or?
Yeah, I've really combined that into one resolution, introducing and scheduling the public hearing to receive comments for to override the tax levy limit established by General Municipal Law, Section 3C.
Okay, in a brief explanation to the general public, we never anticipate going over the tax cap, the 2% tax cap, but if we get forced into it, we need this law to allow us to override the tax cap. If we didn't have that, there would be, I forget how they work it out, but explain it.
So if we were to exceed the tax cap without having a local law, the amount that we're over the tax cap has to be put into a reserve fund, and you're not able to use it for your budget anyway.
Mayhem.
Yes.
That's, again, our brilliant people in Albany that figured that out. Okay, so I have this resolution to introduce and schedule a public hearing to receive public comments concerning the enactment of a local law to override the tax cap, tax levy limit established by General Municipal Laws, Section 3C. Do I have a motion to move to a resolution? Motion.
Second?
Roll call, please.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Councilmember DeWitt?
Aye.
Councilwoman Forward? Aye. Councilman Sullivan?
Aye.
Supervisor Lizzie?
Aye.
And just note, it's scheduled for October 20th, just based on the timing of how publication now works and your meeting schedule with budgets. That was the most appropriate date.
Thank you, sir. I have a resolution to authorize expenditure from the Highway Repair Equipment Reserve Fund for a Ram 5500 truck. The town board desires to authorize the expenditure of an amount not to exceed $102,063 from this capital reserve fund for the truck. In order to spend that money, we need to have this resolution to authorize the expenditure. So I'll ask for a motion to move the resolution.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Councilmember Sport. Aye. Councilmember DeWitt.
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan.
Aye.
Supervisor Livesey.
Aye. We transferred some funds from the Road Park Pool Personal Services to Road Park Pool Contractual to cover the additional chlorine costs for the pool. Do I have a motion to approve the transfer? Motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
I transferred $162,626 from the consolidated account to the paying account to cover this week's check run. The larger items are the Robert Green Auto Truck for a 2024 Ram truck for highway. That was $123,432. For summer rec, and senior bus trips, I transferred $11,040. For diesel fuel, I transferred $5,101. O&R for sewer pumps and streetlight service for August of 2025, $4,611. And Beacon Recycling, single stream, for August 25, $3,930. Any questions from the board? I'd like to welcome the two representatives of the village board. Thank you for coming to our meeting. Liaison reports. We'll start with the shortest one, that would be Councilman Sullivan.
Well, you're welcome. Guess I've earned a reputation here in the last couple of years. So I'll start with the building. I read off the stats for the month of August at the last meeting. We're doing the budget for the building department after this meeting tonight. I can tell you that since Ken Betts has joined us, 20 hours a week on average, they've gotten back into fire inspections, and they are meeting a fair amount of resistance in trying to implement them. The first round of most of them failed, and so they have to give them a chance to remediate, and they're going to go back through them. Won't mention which ones are failures, but we're meeting some resistance in that, but we're working on it. As for the rubbish project, which everybody loves so much, there's been some significant improvement. Still plenty of places that do not have the proper cans. I spoke about that at the last meeting, how easy it is to get a can. And I noticed that there is a property at the north end of Highland Falls that for 8 weeks in a row had massive bulk piles and were ticketed each time. They finally broke down and bought the proper cans, and they're doing it properly up there. They have 2 cans. If they need 3, then we'll go to that. So it took 8 weeks of violations and harping on them to get that to happen. We have one matter that might be going to court in October. I'm not prepared to act on it tonight. We have a meeting next week, a budget meeting. We might have to talk about a town board approval for something before that goes to court. I'm not prepared to discuss it tonight at length. Next week, I know it's a budget meeting, but we might have to talk about that. Water. So the sprinkler season is toning down, yet I see there is some water use that I think we're going to have to act upon. There is one account in Fort Montgomery today, for the last 3 days, they've been using 3,000 gallons. They typically use 600 a day. I spent a lot of time chasing this stuff, so, and it's not sprinklers that one, so I have Dale going there over the next few days to check on it. I go out to Bog Meadow a lot. It's down about 5.5 feet, which I believe is close to 50 or 55%. Do you know that, Alina?
Last I heard it was at 60, and that was a few weeks ago.
Okay, so it's down about 5.5 feet. Off topic, I was out at Stillwell before the meeting tonight. Stillwell is down like 10 to 15 feet. It's incredible how much that lake is down. I can't speculate. I'm not so sure it's entirely due to drought. Something going on out there. It's really low. Met with the Department of Health's Peter Kelleher last week, he inspecting our new water tank. VRI came down. That meeting went very well. They're very pleased with the way we're doing business in the town of Highlands. They asked about the lead inventory, which we did that a year ago. There's one private parcel they were concerned about. That private parcel is a private matter for the private owner to deal with it, so that went well. Sewer, I have not done the DMR yet for this month, so I don't know what the flow was for last month, so I don't know what August was. I'll have that at the next meeting. The plant has been running well. I did not go to Dancing to the Stars. I trust and hope the plant odor was not an issue. It hasn't been for the last couple of years. And the pump station that got hit by the car that was out of electricity for a long time till Bob called Scoofus' office has an automatic dialer. And I don't know what we pay per year with Verizon. This automatic dialer is not a landline. It has a antenna on it, and I think it's $300 a year for just that one. We have to do a check and see if it's worth it to do that with the other pump stations, or Verizon ran a wire. This is an insurance claim, so they ran a wire and they left it in a new conduit. We didn't wire it in yet because I wasn't sure which direction we're going. You and I and Jimmy can talk about that, you know. So now, other organizations. The DPW, I don't have a report on the DPW per se. There've been blacktopping. There's one place where we have a pump station, and for the last 35 years, this pump station has been located at a private residence whose driveway has taken a severe beating by the equipment that goes in there. I think we're going to be doing something with that driveway, so I met with Greg there to give him some idea what the square footage is. And so down at the battle site, which I'm a member of, they had a very nice lecture last Thursday night by a woman named Shar Waggle of Revolutionary Westchester 250. Next year will be 250 years that we've been a country. And it was entitled The Week That Won the War. So I'm a little bit weak on all the particulars. In 1780, on the Vulture, it was Benedict Arnold that escaped by about the skin of his teeth and did not give the plans to West Point to the British when he escaped, but his other associate, Major Andre, was captured. So it was on that topic. It was a very interesting topic. I didn't YouTube yet, I recorded it. They asked me not to put it onto YouTube until they publish their own thing from that organization. The battle site has a lot of great programs like that down there. If you look online, Ronnie Coffey, the historian, is doing a sit and chat the first Wednesday in November. I forget what her topic is, but she's excellent. And Michael Graver is going to do a sit and chat the first Wednesday in October. You just might see him dressed as a revolutionary soldier as he does it. He does wonderful programs. The sit and chats I recommend going to them. They're at the American Legion Hall the first Wednesday of the month. And the Citizens Environmental Advisory Committee. So on Saturday, Olga had the event across the street. I had a last-minute adjustment I had to make for a family member. It involved going to the Army football game, where I sat right behind Mr. Ty King, and along with him was Colin Monahan. Did I say his name right, Monahan? Up at the prep school, doing quite well, so that was pleasant. Watching Army play the game, was not as pleasant I would like it to have been. 2 times this year I've gone to their games where I've left, and then they go into overtime. One was double overtime, and they lost both times, but I didn't stay as long as I should have. Oh, ye of little faith. And so I think that's all I have. That's it.
Councilman King?
Yeah, not much from me tonight, just really 2 things. One, I'm going to piggyback off what my colleague said in terms of the football game, but it's going to be in the context of veterans, because the thing with Colin is that last year, I attended a football game with him and escorting him to his first football game. He was a senior at James Arnold High School at the time. And this particular time when he was sitting with us, he was a student at the prep school at West Point. And so that was a good feeling to see one of our local kids get over there and thriving, because he really is having a good time. And I want to expand that intentionally, meaning I'm going to be, doing what I can to try to inspire others to just consider what's right next door as a great opportunity. And so it looked for me out and about talking to some of our kids about that. The last thing was the seniors. Feedback I got from the bus trip to Pennsylvania was that the folks who attended, had a great time. Anybody in here went to it? Did you go? No? But I got a few pictures, and I sure hate I missed it. They said they had a phenomenal time out there. And that's subject to anybody's question, that's all. One last thing. The pseudo kind of organization, it's not really an organization, it's kind of a committee I created a few years ago called the Special Events Committee. Looks like it's on life support right now. If anybody out there want to volunteer to help, because for whatever reason, lots of folks are, they're just probably tired, or they're moving in different directions, or they're going to different communities or whatever. We just need folks who want to help celebrate our communities. We got Hispanic Heritage coming up. We got other events that we want to do, like breast cancer awareness, and I just could use your help if you're out there, you want to help put some things together. That's all I have.
Councilwoman Spurlock.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening to everybody and everyone at home. Sorry for my back to the rest of you. Zoning Board of Appeals met since we last met. They they set a public hearing for a variance application for a residence on Old State Road to add an accessory dwelling unit, so to put living space above a garage. So they're going to set a public hearing for that. That was the only thing on their agenda. They're all picking up since the summer. Planning Board met last Thursday and had just one item of new business, which was talking about an erosion control permit up on Tampson Road, which was, they decided there didn't need to be any additional approvals. It's moving on through the process. They're going to pursue that. The last piece I have is the ambulance corps calls for August of 2025. They had 53 total calls and were able to answer 49 of those calls. Three were not able to be responded to because of no driver or EMT available. On the 2nd of August, the call was handled by New Windsor. Same thing on the 11th of August, it was handled by New Windsor, and on the 25th of August. On the 11th of August, it was a second call, and we typically don't have the crew to answer a second call for them. And that's what I have. Keeping it short and sweet, you're all welcome.
No, I'm going to ask. Councilwoman Spurlock, I and Jeff from the ambulance corps interview a hire.
David Ramos.
Would someone like to make a motion to hire David Ramos as a what do we call that, part-time?
Full-time.
Full-time with...
Reduced hours, right?
He would would be on probation for 1 year as usual.
I will make that motion.
You recommend it?
Yeah, we absolutely would.
Yeah, we entered, yeah,
He'll
he's,
be a great
yeah.
addition to the
Awesome.
He came from the city, where he worked for years
FDNY.
and moved up this way. Now he wants to go back into it again, and he's got experience up to the zoo.
Yeah.
That's great to know, because we lost a couple, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all in favor? Aye. Aye. So carried, thank you. Are you all right to give a report?
Oh, I can talk.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Tell about the bar fight.
Let's say again, yeah. It happened in Highland Falls. Richie, quick about Bog Meadow. Are we, for this time of year, about what's to be expected?
I take pictures every month, every year for the last 10 years, and you can compare them. I actually put them on Facebook. So we are at about where we were a year ago, and a year ago we got into dire straits as we went into December, and then we had rain after that. So not making anybody panic, I'm just saying that we are where we were a year ago. And if you remember a year ago in October, Greenwood Lake was burning for a month. Do you remember all that? So, you know, that was what last year was. So that's,
I would have thought we were at this time.
I can't speak on the village's behalf, but Bog Meadow is not full, so.
Okay, thank you. I just, a week and a half ago, attended the Community Leaders Informational Forum meeting at West Point. There, you know, they have those monthly, basically it's about the state of affairs at West Point, nothing much changed, you know, into their fall sports season, and everything's going smoothly. I didn't hear anything, you know, beyond the normal that we expect. I know they seem to have very few home games this season compared to last, and hopefully next year the stadium's going to be completed, so it'll be better for everybody. Bob, Lisa, Bora, and I had a video conference with Spectrum about Channel 23. We always like keeping Channel 23 on life support, but considering that we are in this, you know, isolated in our little piece of the world here, for that basic information, people still use it. Emergency times, we want to keep it up because it could be a good source of information as long as there's electricity. There's some money floating out there that we have from Spectrum. What we're trying to do is we're not trying to invest money into it to make it into a high def or anything like that. There's no need. We just want to clean up the signal and keep it there, just again as a community service, because we still feel that it serves more than it does not. So hopefully we'll have more updates as Spectrum brings us, finally is agreeing to look into technical help to help us go forward with that. Also, being a full conference day with Olga and the Queen of Grants over here. Yeah, I know you always shake your head. But she went for the first steps of submitting and getting some money so we can finish the upgrades on lighting here in the town hall. Again, LED lights, environmentally, cost-wise, you know, it's a whole good thing, and it's free money, one of the free monies that Olga found us through grants over the course of the year. We're also looking to upgrade with the work environment here and the cost of running the building with some HVAC upgrades. Hopefully we'll have some more answers very shortly for that. One of the things on the table was insulating pieces of this building, but that's not going to be feasible, because to do that, we'd have to probably shut the town hall down for probably a month. And the expense, as we found looking into projects, it opens the Pandora's box of other things that are wrong with a 125-year-old building. Nothing detrimental, but to do one thing would mean tearing down this, unleashing that. It's so, the insulation factor we're probably going to shy away from, but we're still going to look for some other environmental, technological upgrades with the HVAC system. And again, it was just under 2 weeks ago, the town threw a really nice 9/11 ceremony, and I'm glad I was able to attend, and thanks to the chief and the fire departments and the ambulance and the military, the presentation down at the park in Fort Montgomery, it was really, really touching and a really nice, again, how many years later are we? 24 years, thank you, sorry, my math is off. But it really was a very nice program, and thank you guys for all the people that got together to make that happen. And that's it.
Talking about the 9/11 park, the gentleman sitting off here to my left here did an awful lot of cleanup work down the park. It hadn't been cleaned up for a while, and there was a lot to be done, and I want to thank you, Richie, for all the work that you did.
I live right there, so, no big deal. Thank you.
Chief, have anything?
I just want to mention that we are doing a Coffee with a Cop event at the Dunkin' Donuts in Fort Montgomery. It's going to be October 1st from 8 to 10. We're real excited about it, and I believe, Olga, you're going to be joining us with your group as well. So October 1st from 8 to 10.
Chief, would you knock on the door and see if the judge is in there? Hello? Tell him to come on out here.
Can you come on out, Judge? Land Charter, you're under arrest.
I would yell all rise, but you can come in.
I was going to say, I have been summoned. Yeah.
Yes, so if you would stand up to the mic there and
Yes, I will, okay.
tell us about this JCAP resolution.
Yes. I am Barbara Minetti, and I'm here tonight to represent the court. I was at the New York State Magistrates Conference last week, and I learned of an amazing opportunity for our court. Our basement storage area is almost brimming at the seams, and we have had a backlog with respect to our ability to keep up with cases and documents. I learned about, it's a JCAP grant, which we got 2 years ago for construction. This is not construction. This is actually a scanning company that can come in. We actually had a representative by courtesy come this past week at the end of the week. I was still at the conference, and estimated that we have 200 to 250 boxes going back years and years and years, before my time, before Judge Bourne's time, and we are really excited about getting the help, the grant. It would be the same thing up to, not to extend over $30,000. I already have an estimate and told the person we cannot spend any more than that. The process involves the company coming to pick up the documents, they index them, they scan them, they cross-check and double-check the accuracy of them. An important aspect of this is actually indexing, and we're talking about documents that can go back to, I heard the word 1938 and earlier. So the court must keep records of all of this, just like the town clerk has to keep records going back, it seems like forever. So we must have secure documentation of all of this. People come in decades later needing a copy of this or that. So this would just be an extremely valuable service that we need. And so what is required, as with the last one, is because the town secures and manages funds and actually expends when we have bills, applying for the grant requires an authorization and certification from the board to apply for the grant. the full funding of up to $30,000 can be used for this service, and with one estimate, I think I mentioned it, up to 250 boxes. This will not, by any means, complete the process, but at least we will be very encouraged with this help, and probably could have to look forward to doing it again in other years if it's available. So I'm here tonight. As I mentioned, I was gone all last week pretty much in very intensive and substantive training, the best I've been to. But in any event, I came back just with a paper form. I was not able to get it to June in time to type up a resolution. But it does have to have exact language in it, so I'll at least read that, and I can leave, I've made photocopies for it with my little handwriting on it for each of you.
We don't have the town clerk tonight, so make sure you give it to us so we can put the language that you want.
Yes. It just reads, "The Town Board of Highlands authorizes the Town of Highlands Justice Court to apply for a JCAP grant in the 25-26 cycle of up to $30,000. So I have a copy for each of you, and I can, I already scanned it, I can send it to June.
Okay.
One last thing, the deadline is October 10th, and I think this is the only board meeting between then and now and then.
We'll do it right now.
What's that?
We'll do it right now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. This is, when I told the clerks and everybody about this, they were all excited.
Thank you.
I have a lot more information. I've already looked at our first proposal and costs and that sort of thing, what the company's all about. Oh, you have some, yeah.
Okay, I need a motion to authorize the Town of Highlands Justice Court to apply for a JCAP grant in the 25-26 cycle, grant up to $30,000.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Roll call, please.
Councilmember DeWitt. Aye. Councilmember Porter. Aye. Councilmember Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Supervisor Witt.
Aye. All set.
Thank you so much.
Excuse me, Mr. Supervisor?
Yes, ma'am.
Before we move on, I was reminded that I forgot to mention the Fall Foliage Festival that goes on this Saturday. That's all right down the road. So, thank you. So, this Saturday, North Main Street, Fall Foliage Festival, always plenty to see and do and buy there. So, it's really a fun day. I think Saturday's supposed to be a decent day, you know, we'll get some rain during the week, which we need, but we're hoping for good weather on Saturday. So please come on down to the Fall Foliage Festival on Saturday.
Thank you. I was waiting for that. I knew you were going to come up with it.
I appreciate you not pointing that out. What time does it starts? It's a little later. I think it's at 10, and I believe it starts at 10 this year, yeah.
Okay, I need a motion, and this is going to be a tough one, to cancel our October the 14th meeting because it's a holiday.
Motion.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. Sean Lewis, who is with our ambulance corps, would like to help out in our dog pound. So if I could ask permission of the town board to allow Sean Lewis to volunteer to help in our dog pound under the advice or tutelage, good word, of our dog control officer. Do I have a motion? Got a motion for that?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So carried. Justin, that's enough, right?
That's perfect, Supervisor.
I love these things that I'm about to read now, although I'm not going to use the name of the people. Dear Chief Burns, I hope you're enjoying this beautiful fall weather. I wanted to thank you and your team for protecting our home during our trip this summer. The day after we returned, one of the officers kindly knocked on our door to make sure that we had arrived safely and everything was okay. Our neighbors told me how attentive the officers were around our house, and we were saying how fortunate we are to live in this neighborhood with your support. We can't thank you enough and truly appreciate your great help. If you would kindly pass this message along to your team, I would be most grateful. And that's the service. Anyone, let them know you're going away for a week, contact information, and we'll check your house.
The next meeting that you canceled is actually on October 13th.
13th, all right. Well, let's cancel both of them. Okay. I brought this up at Olga's fair across the street there. So far, we've spent $3,688,000 on FEMA. How can I put it? On roads, grounds, everything caused by the storm. We've gotten $819,000 back from FEMA. We expect to get the rest, at least 75% of what we've, people say to me, well, first of all, why is it taking so long? Well, you can ask Kelly. She's got a file about this big. We meet every other week, just about, with FEMA. And we're doing the best we can, so is FEMA. I'll give them credit. But they got forms, they simplify, which makes them twice as hard to do. It's just amazing. We've had 2 directors, if they want to call it, 3 different directors, because somehow the federal government did some chopping in the department. So we'll get there, but if your road next door or your road isn't completed yet, that's because we can't complete it until FEMA tells us it's okay to be completed. And we have things like Mindock Road. Mindock Road from the top of the hill down to the culvert, the new culvert they just put in, has no storm damage. So we can't fix that. But so we're going to have to get somebody to come in to do the road from the culvert down to the river. And meanwhile, we're going to try and get that person to do the whole road, and we'll pick up his end, if FEMA lets us to do it that way. Right?
FEMA will only pay for the damage that was done in the storm, so the other part they won't pay for.
I know they won't pay for it, but will they let us to combine that into one contract?
I think one contract is all right, but I think there has to be 2 different prices.
Yeah.
Over, down.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah, because that's what we're going to try and do anyway. General public comment, anybody? Olga, you've been waiting there.
I'm commented out.
Very nice job across the street, very nice. You put that together real quick, and it was nice. It was well attended, and people came out and expressed maybe not their happiness, but their problems. Village, anything?
I'm just a
You're not the village. Village, anything?
service and
Nobody in the village? Okay. Annie?
I just wanted, on a light note, one of our own will be on The Voice tonight.
What?
Oh, right, yeah, so at 8 o'clock, so I hope everybody will watch her and give her your support. She's wonderful. She's a wonderful young lady.
Who?
Shannon Scott.
From,
Yes,
I remember her.
yes.
Annie, while you're speaking, is there something going on down the road here, coming up, down the end of the road, in the old Shades building? Yeah, is there anything going
I don't know
on?
anything about that, sir. October 1st.
October 1st?
Yes.
Ribbon cutting.
We will have a grand opening, yes.
Right. What time?
I believe it's at 4.
At 4. That counts me out. I know you do that purposely.
So you can have coffee with the chief in the morning and go to her place in the afternoon.
There you go. That's great. Great news. Yeah, we're-
Anybody else? Public comment? No.
I do believe
Yes, ma'am.
that the road coming into the cemetery on 9W was repaved, is that right?
They're working on it today. Been working on
The
it.
process of being done.
Yeah.
I just want to thank you for that. That's, I know a lot of people will appreciate that.
I know, and particularly one lady that blew tires or something like that. She was very upset about it, but I'm glad we got it done. All right, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn the regular meeting, and we'll go into the budget meeting. Motion. All in favor? Aye.